Hi, I'm Karen. This video is about how to use Tessa to initiate an audit and is meant for accredited certificate providers or ACPs. There are other videos intended for auditors performing tasks in Tessa. For more information about the audit process, please refer to our website. So, what happens if an audit of my certificate batches needs to happen? In the next few minutes, I will impersonate an ACP. I will raise an audit case in Tessa, respond to audit recommendations from the auditor, and then at the end, after the completion of the audit process, I will be able to review my case and any documents provided to me. I've logged in as an ACP user and have arrived on the landing page. Let's raise a case to initiate an audit. The mandatory fields are highlighted in red and also indicated with these red asterisks. My organization name, ID, and my name have been filled in automatically. First, let's select the audit type. For now, I'll select post-registration. Next, select your accreditation ID. Because I've selected post-registration, or if I select Spot Audit, I will see this field pop up. This allows me to select certificate batches to include in this audit. I can include multiple batches. I can scroll down the list to find the relevant batches. I then need to nominate an audit company. If I know a keyword for my audit company, I can type in the asterisk and then type in the keyword. If I've made a mistake, I can go back and delete that and type in or select the new auditor. I then need to nominate the lead auditor. I now need to attach some documents to this case. Browse and select your files. I can select one document at a time, or I can hold the Shift key down to select multiple documents and click Open. I then need to tick the Commit Documents to Submission checkbox, which moves my documents to the External Document table. I need to put a document type for all of my attachments. I do this by clicking on the Edit row. Select a document type. You may type in a document note and then click Save. I will need to repeat this for all my attachments. Once I've completed all the mandatory fields and attached my documents, I can submit the case. After the case is submitted, a case number is generated and the state of the case is awaiting info. I can see the attachments to the case at the top of the screen, as well as a snapshot of variables. And if I scroll down to the bottom of the case, I can see some related tables, including the certificate batches I've selected, the implementation data regarding those batches, and any audit recommendations for my accreditation. So what happens next? Members of the auditor organization I selected will receive an email notification of the tasks they need to perform in Tessa. The case is now awaiting action by the auditor. In a later part of the audit process, the auditor will raise a case for audit recommendations. At this point in time, members of my organization will receive an email notification asking for a response to these recommendations. The email will look something like this. I can either click on the link in the email, or once I've logged into Tessa, I can click on the My Tasks widget. I can see a task where the subject is Requests for Responses and the state is Open. Let's click on that task. I can see the instructions from iPart. I can attach documents by clicking on the paperclip. Browse and select your documents and click Open. I will see my attachments at the top of the task. I will also see any auditor recommendations. To respond to a recommendation, I need to click on the Edit row and type in my response in the pop-up. If there are multiple recommendations, you'll need to respond to each of them by clicking on the Edit row and typing in your response, and click Save. If I am not yet ready to submit my response, I can always save my progress by clicking the Save button. The next time I come back into Tessa, I can click on My Tasks again and reopen that task. This time, I'm going to select Submit. The case is now waiting action by the auditor and/or IPART. When all the audit tasks have been completed and assessed by IPART, the state case for the audit case and the recommendations case will change to complete. Members of the ACP organization and my auditor organization will receive an email notification confirming that the case is complete. At any point in time, I can always go back to My Cases, click on the Audit category or the Audit Recommendations category, and find My Case. Any documents released by the auditor and IPART upon completion of the audit will be available at the top part of the case form. I can click on the document to download it. Depending on your browser type, you should see a pop-up, which you can then click on to open and save the file. Okay, how about scenario 2, where IPART have raised an ACP audit case on my behalf? In this case, members of my organization will receive an email notification asking to assign an auditor and attach documents to the audit case. The email will look something like this. Again, I can click on the link in the email, or I can click on My Tasks in the landing page. This time, I see a task where the subject is the request for auditor allocation and the state is open. Let's select this task. I can see the IPART instructions. I can attach any documents by clicking on the Add Attachments paperclip, select and browse my file, and as before, I need to commit the documents to submission. I then need to click Edit Row to add a document type, and click Save. I also need to assign the audit company. And my lead auditor. If I am ready to submit, I can scroll down and click Submit. Or as before, I can click Save to save my progress and come back at another time. For now, let's click Submit. As per scenario 1, the auditor will need to complete the tasks in Tessa, and I may still need to respond to auditor recommendations. I will still receive a notification when the cases are complete and can review my cases. Let's recap. In scenario 1, I logged in as an ACP, I raised a case in Tessa to audit my certificate batches, and I responded to audit recommendations. Once the nominated auditor had completed their tasks and IPART have assessed the case is complete, and I was able to review the outcomes and documentation resulting from the audit. And then in scenario 2, since IPART raised the case for me, I logged into Tessa and assigned an auditor and attached documents to my case.